Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the September 2021 edition of the Humboldt Park Chicago Avenue Community Roundtable. My name is Ernest Bellamy, DPD West Region City Planner, coming to you live from City Hall. Thank you all for being with us, being here today. Today's agenda is a general welcome, quick update on NOF, and that the current rounds for us are getting ready to close. We'll hold the floor for any updates from West Humboldt Park Development Council, and then kind of go into the Humboldt Park Chicago Avenue RFP recap of where we've been thus far, current status of things, and a review of the summary of proposals, which went live last week. And that's about it. So without further ado, I just wanted to say hello to you all. Thanks for all the residents and community partners who routinely come to these meetings. And I'll pause for any newcomers to say hello. Or for anyone who wants to just say hello. All right. Hey there, Mary. I saw you waving there.
I'll say hello. Hi, this is Adrienne.
Hey, Adrienne.
I'll show my face for a second.
Great seeing you. Great seeing you too, Shamika. I see you. Video on. Thanks for joining. Multitasking. Nothing wrong with that. All right. So quick department updates. NOF, the application window for current round of NOF, small and large, is preparing to close on Thursday. If you are working on any applications for NOF, make sure those get in by the deadline. More information can be found on the NOF website. Sure, if you Google it, Chicago DPD NOF, you'll be able to find it there, but also the link that you see on the screen, neighborhoodopportunityfund.com/apply, where you'll be able to find more information. Next up, I'll leave some room for some West Humboldt Park Development Council updates, if there are any from Adrienne or Nefertari.
Good afternoon. Yes, Ernest, this is Nefertari. Also wanted to remind everyone that the Back to Business grant is in process, and applications are being received up until October 11th. So if you've not applied, please do. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact us, either email or phone. And if you apply, please let us know so that we can help track that through the system and ensure that your application is properly reviewed. Pardon me. And I think that was it on this end.
Thank you so much for those updates. All right, so up next, a little bit of a recap of the Chicago Avenue RFP, where things have been and where things are right now. So let's get my screens all corrected here. And throwing in RFP on the screen there. All right, so away we go with that. So as a little bit of a recap, while why we kind of went down this RFP process is that we were looking for something that was visionary for the corridor and especially the site. Typically, an RFP establishes a vision for the site based on community input and design excellence and market realities. Really looking at it to be something that can actually happen on the site and be a strong representation of that through the RFP process. Secondarily, it being competitive, being a competitive process that solicits multiple responses in a competitive environment to ensure developers and designers are putting their best foot forward. Thirdly, an RFP offers a level of transparency through community engagement, affording the community an opportunity to provide input on the site evaluation criteria and proposal selection. So next steps for us, we're kind of right here in the RFP process, and that we're kind of through steps 1 and 2. And we are now in the meat of step 3, the evaluation process, which for this round of RFP batches is a little bit of a shorter window than what was done before, but that's only because of based off of previous experience of rounds 1 and 2. How do we tweak and revise and refine the process to be better each time? So we are here at the September Roundtable, and we will have the September developer presentations tomorrow evening. Some of you have been aware through different channels of that, and I'll cover a little bit of that more a little bit later on. The round 3 evaluation process is kind of composed of a mix of city personnel, city staff, and community evaluators, as well as some advisory reviewers advising the proposals for their the nuts and bolts. How are the finances looking? How or the unit mix and makeup? How does this project reflect the community's wishes as previously expressed and in previous community visions and via roundtables prior? And thus through last month's roundtable and the nomination process through vetting of the nominations, we've selected 4 community evaluators to be as finalists, who are residents of the community, are business stakeholders within the community. We expanded it the 4 up from 3, just to make sure that the community is well represented. And so, the criteria that we looked at for the vetting of those individuals are what you see here on the screen: must reside within the community area boundary, must participate within the RFP visioning process, have participated in the past in the visioning process, as well as been a regular contributor here in the community roundtables, must not have a conflict of interest in relation to the RFP respondents, and must commit to attending up to 3 evaluation committee meetings, and affirm in writing that there are no conflict of interest, and signed a non-disclosure form. Those who you saw on the screen were selected via lottery process. well, we had a few other names, but through the vetting process, we were able to kind of take down to the 4 you saw earlier. So just want to say quick congratulations to our evaluation committee advisors, Chantel Johnson, Adrian, Abe, and Alicia Ivy. Thank you so much for agreeing to be part of this process and taking time out of your busy days and schedules to attend those meetings and be part of the process, representing the community well. So kind of getting into the bits of the nuts and bolts of things in the round 3 evaluation process. The simplistic portion is what you see kind of in the top 2 rows, and how that all kind of breaks down is as such. Kind of what you see in the dark blue is kind of what we've already kind of gone through already. So we've selected the community evaluators. We had the August roundtable where we received 5 nominations during the meeting and 1 nomination via email. We initially were going to do 3 evaluators and 2 alternates, but through the vetting process, we were able to narrow down to 4. We've had a kickoff meeting earlier this week with the evaluators, where we set the expectations and created dates where we'll meet later on, which are kind of here later on. Secondarily, summary of the proposals were made by me, the project manager, which I'll show a little bit later on. There's been an automatic briefing. We are we're actually going to have a summary presentation, so that should not be in dark. But the summary presentation, or at least the presentation with the RFP respondent developers will happen tomorrow evening. And project summaries have been posted to our DPD website. I see in the chat, Jeanette has mentioned to me if we can share the link for tomorrow's meeting. And yes, that'll happen. That will be going out post the meeting to those who have not already registered yet, those who regularly attend the roundtable, getting kind of to the nuts and bolts of that as we progress through the slide deck. So the developer presentations to the public are going to happen tomorrow evening, as well as all the things kind of in this peach color going on, and subsequent the next few weeks before we make an announcement of the winner in late October. So, do you want to offer her 4 to 5 or here's again some more information on the consensus model. We are taking an approach of the combined city and community evaluation, as well as another column of city evaluation, which will all lead to consensus over who the winner is of the RFP process. So gathering a bit of community feedback and kind of how things are going forward. So as some of you may have been aware via Alderman Burnett's newsletter, the one-pagers summaries of the respondents to the RFP were part of the most recent newsletter. as well as if you're on our DPD listserv, getting updates and blasts from the department. You've received an email that looks very similar to what you see on the screen to the right, inviting you to come out to tomorrow night's meeting. From there, these examples on the screen, we will be releasing a survey to the community, which will gather consensus information from the survey from the residents who respond to the survey of particulars about each proposal, what they like, what they didn't like, aspects of the proposals that they've liked, and what they thought of the whole overall process. Here being two examples from Bronzeville in the previous round of RFP proposals. So key dates, as you see here on the screen, we're kind of through a few of these. Community survey for us will open not as seen here, but I'll update it real quickly. Here's our slide deck. So it'll open right after the meeting the next day, following day on the 24th. And it will close on, actually, I believe around the 15th of October, of which the evaluation committee during that time, actually the next week, we agreed upon the next week we will meet and find a consensus, try to find a consensus the following week on the proposals, and actually also review the community survey and the results from the survey. And yeah, actually that's right, I was reading ahead of myself. So we'll have our kind of our first and second meetings around the 18th to the 22nd to find consensus, make a selection roughly soon thereafter, and an announcement tentatively on the 28th of October. So if you haven't seen the proposals already, the one pagers, I have them here today. So first up is Sept West Humboldt. This is by the Art and Soul Collective, which is composed of 548 Development and Synergy Cities, as well as others as seen on the screen here. They are proposing a mixed-use, mixed-income complex that includes 37 units of for-sale condos with balconies, first and second floor retail commercial space, and 21 parking stalls. There's also a plaza out front, kind of represented in this rendering up top here. They also have kind of a rear plaza, dual hybrid plaza that you see in a bigger picture here. That's kind of the parking in the rear can also serve as a plaza space in the rear. And they'll get into the more ingenious nature of their proposal later, but there is kind of a connected way that both plazas in the front and rear can be connected through the building. Different aspects of the proposal, there's proposed coffee shop and market, restaurants, a health and wellness facility, maker studio, co-working space, offices for NHS, and a green roof. And there on the screen, you can see also the various square footages that they have. and the number of affordable units they'll have, and at what rate, which is 50% AMI, area median income. The second proposal is by KMW Communities. It is called the Ave or the Avenue. The Avenue is their proposal is actually a three-phase proposal. The part that specifically deals with the RFP site would redevelop the site with 4 to 5-story mixed-use, mixed-income complex that includes 40 residential units, multiple commercial and retail spaces, as well as 32 parking stalls, in kind of like an enclosed parking. Later phases would create a 42-unit mixed-use building at 3401 West Chicago, as well as they're proposing in a later phase infill housing on nearby vacant city and Cook County owned, Cook County Land Bank owned properties. Proposed uses and amenities: a restaurant, cafe, gym, community garden for the residents within the complex, a community health center, home ownership center, daycare, and also space for NHS. And kind of the more minutiae breakdowns you could see on the bottom right of the screen. They're proposing that all the units are affordable through a mix of 6 being at 30% of area median income, and 34 being between 60 to 80% area median income. So these summaries are available on the RFP website, at the city's RFP website. That's been updated to have both the summaries right here, as well as how to register for the community meeting, which is tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. So I am with our communication team. I will be providing a list of our regular attendees here to the communications team to get those responses. But I would also say, if you don't get an email invite by 5 o'clock today, please email me and I will make sure you get that invite. The link to register for the community presentation, I will also put into the chat for everyone as just kind of like a backup to that. And you're welcome, Jeanette. I will also go through a little bit of some of the information for tomorrow evening right now. Oh wait, that hasn't been updated yet. All right, that should update now, so I can flip to it, I believe. All right, that went actually a little bit earlier in the slide deck. Here we are. So I just put in a few of the slides for tomorrow evening. I'm still working on completing them, but basically wanted to give you all a preview of things. So basically how the event will run We will meet the respondent teams. We'll learn about their proposals and have the opportunity to ask questions and provide feedback. The overall agenda is kind of shown here, kind of diagrammatically. We'll do a quick recap of the RFP vision and process. We will have roughly 30 minutes with each of the development teams, and we'll have a recap at the end of next steps and continued engagement. And so the question and answer phase, you all being regular roundtable attendees, you'll be promoted to the point where you can provide verbal questions back to the teams. We have a facilitator that's going to do an amazing job of balancing between not only all of you, but the broader community who are coming. We're going to ask the broader community type either in the Q&A box or the chat their questions for all the roundtable regularly attending members whose names I'm going to forward on. We'll ask you to raise your hand, and so that you'll get called on by our facilitator, and that way the facilitator can manage the flow of the question and answer period for each team between yourselves as well as the broader community who have questions. So all in all, we're going to try to get as much questions answered in that 22-minute time period. Obviously, not every single last question is going to be able to get answered, but we'll also provide a summary of all the questions and email that out to everyone. You know, if there's anything that isn't answered in that 22 minutes that we see written in the chat, that's something that we can answer in addition. I'll do my best to post answers to that as well. So I know I hit you all with a lot of information. I've been talking for roughly 30 minutes. Any questions thus far? Okay. I don't see any in the chat. And I don't see anyone, no one's verbally unmuted and said a question, but I'll hold for a few more seconds for any questions. All right. Well,
Hi, Ernest. Just you probably mentioned it already. Just wanted to confirm. We have another call tomorrow at 6 p.m.
Correct, Gustavo. So there will be a community meeting tomorrow evening. Let me bring up an example here. So it's been kind of circulated through Alderman Burnett's 27th Ward newsletter. I know Adrian and Nefertari through West Humboldt Park Development Council have been circulating information about this as well. And if you're on kind of like the normal listserv for DPD, you should have received an email that looks very similar to what you see on the right of the screen late last week. But I will also forward on names of the regular roundtable attendees early this afternoon to our communications team to make sure that our regular roundtable members have access to that. And that also, no problem. That also reminds me to put in the chat the link to sign up for the webinar. So let me do that right now. before moving on to kind of showing next steps. Okay, so I just put it in the chat, the link to sign up for the webinar. If any of you want to go ahead and just click on that link and sign up, feel free to do that. That may, well, it'll just make sure, you know, all bases are covered. I'm going to do my best from the normal calendar invite of individuals I have and who I normally see on the roundtable to make sure our communication team has your information.
I did, or you want to do it? Yeah.
And from there, they'll know to promote you up to a level where you can ask your question of the development teams via the Zoom, as opposed to typing in the chat. Okay, so any other questions? Okay, so next month's dates of things. So again, are things to happen within the next month. So tomorrow evening, 6 p.m. to 7:30, we will have community presentations from the RFP respondent teams. The community survey for the RFPs will be sent out to everyone who comes to the meeting tomorrow evening. It'll be open from September 24th through October 15th. And then our next community roundtable will be October 27th. So that's pretty much it for today. It's a little bit lighter, a lighter meeting than normal.
Hey, Ernest, this is Jim Harvin. I just got a quick reminder for all of the stakeholders here on the call. We are about to wrap up our open Neighborhood Opportunity Fund grant program open application period this coming Friday. So if you guys have small businesses that are working on their application or small businesses that you think would be a good candidate to participate in this grant program, please have them reach out to us. Please have them complete an application and get into the program. We don't have as much participation along this corridor as we would like. So we are encouraging each one and every one of you on the call to reach out to that small business or that entrepreneur and make sure they are aware. And there's our website where you can actually go ahead and apply. If you guys need to reach out to either myself, Ernest, or Sophia to get any additional questions answered, please do not hesitate to do so. Okay, thank you, Ernest.
No problem. Thank you, Jim. All right, well, that's it for today, unless there's any other questions. So I hope to see you all tomorrow evening. Tomorrow evening should be a fun event where we'll see the proposals in further detail, and you'll have the opportunity to see the teams. They'll also have an 8-minute video presentation to kind of walk you through their proposals. So I'm hoping you will enjoy what you see between what the teams are offering for our RFP development site. All right, well.
Thank you, Ernest. Looking forward to it.
Thank you.
No problem. You'll have a great rest of your day, and I will see you all tomorrow night. And if not tomorrow night, I'll see you next month.
Bye-bye.
Have a good one.